Hello everybody. Today I have actually quite a different video compared to what I do usually. Uh, it's going to be basically like, hey, what do you do until we pretty much get to Grand Life? Because currently, pretty much CM15, I don't really think a lot of people will actually go all in on CM15. Because for most people, or at least like if you're trying to get like a win in Champions Meeting 15, you're probably just doing a solo ace. Get like a mediocre ace day 1, you throw him for day 2, 3, and 4, and just move on. And then the sprint CM, I don't think really a lot of people will care. So pretty much we are on a down period until Grand Life comes out, and of course the highly anticipated quality of life changes that I want to have to talk about in this video too. But this is essentially, hey, you could use this as a checklist. Did I do this before the start of the scenario? I'm going to be talking about specific points. One is like for everybody. 2, it just depends on your luck with the game. And number 3 is just talking about specific thing. So let's start with the first thing ever. And it's very easy. Is do you have the parents? Or like, did you start making parents that are like, oh, I feel the parents are very good now? I know there is, oh, what I'm by, okay, let me explain. What do I mean by that? It's essentially, once we get to the point where we start getting that quality of life, where it's like, oh, the spark re-rolling, spark locking, etc., the only thing that doesn't really get improved on is the white sparks. White sparks in general does not get improved, I believe, since the release of Uma. That's how it still is in the Japanese version, unless I'm wrong. So here is why it's actually important to look out for parents that have very good white sparks in them. For example, I haven't yet to name a couple of my Umas, but essentially, you want to start filtering Umas that have a lot of white sparks. For example, this one. It doesn't look like the best parent ever, but here is what makes this very strong. Dodging danger, groundwork, prudent positioning, elite, ramp up, and this is already like a really strong in general parent. The good thing about this is that this is not my only dodging danger, prudent position, and groundwork parent, which is very nice, but there is also other examples. For example, this parent over here. Let's see. Why this one specifically, on my opinion, I think it's very nuts, is because let's check what are relevant skills for a mild champions meeting. Straightaway adapt, elite, fast paced, final push, shifting gears, unyielding spirit, front runner savvy, groundwork, playtime's over. Like, all of them are relevant for this mild champions meeting. So you look at this spark, it's like, oh, it's 2-star stamina, 2-star mile, it's not like the best, but okay, do you know that you pretty much get gold, like gold elite from taking the lead? You get gold fast paced from like Helios power if you get lucky, etc. This means that the parents itself having the white sparks is good, because you could use this parent as a grandparent, and let's say you had something like, I don't know, elite, fast paced, unyielding spirit, groundwork. Now you have more chances to get them. And let's say they drop a card that has like the gold version of Unyielding Spirit, and your entire legacy has Unyielding Spirit, you have like about like a 70% chance to get Unyielding Spirit every single run. And with the feature that is going to be Spark Locking, Spark Rerolling, it makes it much easier to get parents now. Especially if you are looking to like more condensed parents, which is like, oh, I rolled a mile on stamina, I need a power one instead. I reroll, I don't get, that's fine, I can use the stamina one. Let's say you reroll and get like 3-star guts and 2-star mile. Now you can use that instead. It's very good. this is another example. Ignore what I said here because I genuinely was shell shocked that I got this in the first place, but this was like my first ever really good parent. Because in medium champions meetings, what I can do is very simple. Corner recovery is good, prudent positioning is good, fast pace is good, up tempo, medium straightaways, dodging danger, ground work. 3 out of the 4. I am missing what is it called? The ignited spirit whip, but it is what it is. The really good parent. Now let's say I am looking for yeah. The reason why this McQueen, okay? Fronts already had decent parents, but it was like not that much people actually grinded for off meta Umas or like off meta inheritance. Like for example, DDC, which was Dignity Calls. The thing that makes this McQueen so good, like numbers will prove it, but this McQueen had 7,900 people borrow her in the span of her existence. I did eventually stop sharing this McQueen though, because at this point she's like a bit too old. But as you can clearly see, this was like a groundwork. This was like very valuable, and it had prudent positioning here, So that's pretty much it when it comes to like the aspect of you should look out for parents that have very good sparks in them, because once we get to the grand life scenario and when we get to have access to spark rerolling, what you can do now is pretty much farm very good grandparents very easily. Let's say for example I am building, I don't know, like let's say I'm building a Kita-san black grandparent. Now that I have very strong grandparents, for example, I do not know why I clicked on guess, sorry. For example, I click this bourbon and I click this this Palmer. Let's see, what do I have from this legacy that gives me more increased chances to get a specific sparkle like I need. Let's say we are looking for groundwork, dodging danger, and prudent positioning. 1, 2, 3. So 1 complete one I have here, prudent positioning and dodging danger. So 2 and 1 for groundwork. Here for example we have 3 for prudent positioning, 2 for groundwork, and 2 for dodging danger on this legacy. Let's check the Measure Palmer legacy. She has dodging danger, groundwork, and prudent positioning. So now it's 4, 3, 3. Now let's check down. Prudent positioning, groundwork. That means that it is 5, 4, and no. Oh yeah, it's 5 for prudent positioning, 4 for groundwork, and now here let's check prudent positioning. That means that prudent positioning is completely maxed out. I have the highest possible chances to get prudent positioning. I have groundwork over here, so it's 5 groundwork total, because this Saints guy over here does not have groundwork, and I have 6 for prudent positioning and 3 for dodging danger. The spark that I will get the most is going to be prudent positioning, because this is this is my parenting card. I mean parenting deck in general. I put Fukitaru as my borrow slot and just run this deck. So for the deck itself, I'm going to go back to talk about this, but the deck itself is just gives me the skills that I need the most of. So that's pretty much it when it comes to parenting. You should try to save parents that have very good sparks in them, or at least the whites, so that you start looping until you get the very good grandparents. Let's say you're looking for like 2-star stamina, 2-star medium. You use these grandparents, loop, you get them. That's pretty much it when it comes to parenting. Another point that I wanna talk about parenting is that you're pretty much like your deck post making you check when Slide Hello comes out. This is Grand Life deck, sorry. This is my work in progress parenting, making a check. So, as you can clearly see, every single card in here has its purpose, sorry. Kawakami Princess. This card gives me the skill center stage, which is the gold version of prudent positioning, which lets me get double the chances of getting prudent positioning. That's why I had 6 out of 6 in my parents, because I always use Kawakami Princess anyways, because she's my second only SSR speed that I have at maximum break, and it's a 10% race bonus card, so it makes life easier. Let's just switch to the global version because it makes it easier on myself to read the events. So, Summer Marazinski, I do not think I need to explain why I'm going to put Summer Marazinski on my list. We have Focus, Early Lead, both corner and straights, Leader Sprite, Groundwork, Substream, Playtime's over. Really good. And the skill that it's going to provide is Top Runner. Once Top Runner comes out, you will start to see a lot of Leader Sprite and Front Runner kits, or I mean Front Runner Sparks, because Summer Marazinski is the best Front Runner card, and Top Runner is a very broken skill, so a lot of people will have it, so you will see a lot of Sparks that have Leader Sprite in them. Then we get Light Hello at 3 limit break. She becomes a 5% race bonus card, and the thing that she gives is that she gives you See Ya Later, which is the gold version of Playtime's Over. Playtime's Over started to become more common, but I'm just saying, pretty much this deck is gonna give me a lot of front runner skills. And now that I have parents that have these sparks, I have more chances of getting these sparks. That means that the runs that I do in order to get a very good parent are becoming a lot less compared to the average player. Here, the Kato Helios, this card gives you the gold version of Slipstream, which is in the right place. Slipstream is probably going to be more common when it comes to getting it from Sparks. And then Marvelous Sunday and Fine Motion, it's just like 2 weak cards. I do not think I really like. I don't have Muteki at maximum break. I don't have another good parenting card at maximum break, so it is a bit unfortunate, because if I had maximum break Muteki, I just put Muteki, but it is what it is. This gives me 50% race bonus, and the good thing about Marvelous Sunday is that she gives me, okay, wrong thing, sorry, is that she gives me ramp up, tail health high, and straight away adept. So 3 good skills. Right-handed over here, Fall Runner, because some CMs in Grand Life are also going to be Fall Runner. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to say, oh, the parenting aspect is very important, and you should not really neglect it, especially since you will be able to pretty much get very good parents easier with Spark rerolling. That's pretty much it when it comes to parenting. I know I have yapped, but again, parenting is very important, especially if you are a free-to-play player trying to close the gap between you and the spenders. Now, the second point, and that is going to be, do you have like good enough deck to not fall off behind in the Grand Life scenario? This is an MLB deck. Let's just say you pulled, I don't know, like 1 limit break Marazinski and like 2 limit break Light Hello. You have this deck. This deck is very strong. So here is the thing, okay? You have to pick very specific cards in this scenario. This scenario heavily advertises you to go with 3 speed, 2 wit, and Light Hello, or 3 wit, 2 speed, and Light Hello. So essentially, you will have to probably use either of these 2 decks. I would say that this pretty much means that you are very limited, and you can of course replace Kita and Black with another SSR speed, but or like if you're running 3 speed, you can drop Marazinski speed if you're not in front. But again, you need the cards. The SR cards are not unfortunately cutting it at this point. The only card that I could see somewhat being decent when it comes to speed is going to be this El Contrapaso's speed. This one is the only good card that I can possibly agree with. It's like copable at best. That's pretty much it when it comes to this card. Any other wit card? The only wit card that I think could work for the wit is probably Marvelous Sunday Wit or Agia's Tekion Wit, but you're not going to use Agia's Tekion Wit. That's pretty much it. You really need to have a good deck. If you... Okay, let's say this example again, and let's just put Marazinski. Which one is better to pull for? Let's say you started completely new, or like somebody who just has enough cards to only pull on one banner. If you are a free-to-play player, unfortunately, you're essentially going to... Okay, not unfortunately. What you can do is just completely skip the Summer Marzinski banner and pull on the Agia's Tekken on Light Hello banner. I think you just have barely enough cards to pull 400 on this banner. So you pull, you hope to get lucky and MLB Agia's Tekken and Light Hello to get to 2 limit break. And if you get this outcome, you can use your selector, and then once you get the crystal, you use it on Marzinski, and then you have a functioning deck. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the deck. You actually need to have a proper deck to not fall behind so much when it comes to the like overall strengths of your Umas. And then lastly, pretty much is that you should try to learn up the scenario now. Now is a good time. There's not really much going on right now, and you have a lot of resources out there. You have this game tour talking about the Grand Life scenario. You can get like a decent basics about how the scenario works, how the mechanics work, how the coin system works, how the song system works, and pretty much like get a basic understanding. Or if you're looking like more advanced like type of thing, what you can do is like watch this watch a guide, even a run from a Japanese player from 3 years ago. Like for example, this guide, I think it's a very good guide to get like a basic understanding of the scenario itself. It's not even that long. And oh, this is somebody who has done like a run with Suzuka on a free-to-play deck. Let's see. At the end, they hit UG2. I'm just skimming through. Let's say this Marazinski, this is UG7. I know some people like to watch like high ranking runs, but pretty much you could watch people do this scenario. It's like, oh, how did they get to UG rank 7? Or how did they get to this high rank? How did they do that? What makes this good? What makes it that? Now is a good time to do so. This is pretty much it. What the TLDR is that I highly recommend that you should have very good parents before we start the Grand Life scenario. And because here's the thing, making a track is still going to be the best scenario when it comes to parenting, but in the timeline, the Euro Race Finals scenario and the Unity Cup scenario, these two scenarios will get updated in the like close to the end of Grand Life. It's like the end of the year. At that point, Grand Life is still the best scenario, but then they changed the affinity formula, so making a track is just like not really as effective anymore. That's pretty much it when it comes to the parenting, because unfortunately again, making a track is still going to be the best parenting scenario until the end of the year, and you have like 6 months. So you should probably just save up the parents that have very good white sparks so that you can loop with them when it comes to using them as a great grandparents for the start of Grand Life until we get to the Grandmasters, and that's when they change the affinity system to make parenting much better and pretty much less time consuming. And then you should probably also have a decent deck going into the Grand Life, because this is where your deck actually matters a lot more compared to the URA finale, the Unity Cup, and the Making a Track scenario. Those two you could pass out with a couple SR cards, but starting from Grand Life onwards, it's just like the R cards, or I mean the SR cards, start to become much weaker, and the SSR does have a bigger impact, especially with specialized cards that gives you very explosive gold skills. And then lastly, I think it's now a good time to learn the scenario. You probably could also wait until we get to the start of like Grand Life and learn from there by yourself. It could be fun too, but if you want a heads up or understand the basics, you could also just watch a couple of these videos that talk about the Grand Life scenario. And that's pretty much it. If you found this video to be helpful, consider subscribing and consider joining the community server and link it in the comment section. And I know I have talked about this topic, and I know I have been like a bit yappy about this topic, but it's just an importance. It's just like a message to everybody. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope to see you in the next one.